Okay, this is a super brief overview of my Myford Super 7. Built circa 70, 71. I can't remember from the serial number on the back, but it's about 40, 41, 42 years old. It's in really good nick, as I described. Blue motor on the back is a three-phase that I mentioned. That was an upgrade I made about 6 months ago. Cross-slide compound. Compound's a little bit rusty on the side, but that's only surface. The bedway is perfect. I'm currently running a quad head turret on my tailstock because I'm doing a tremendous number of drilling and tapping operations at the moment, and having to swap the tool or swap the drill bits and taps and heavy and centres between operations is a nightmare. That's some work in progress. There's probably about 250 components in there. Not sure, well, let's turn that on. There we go. So there's the old Myford front. I've ripped off the Dewhurst switch because obviously I haven't got the single phase anymore. And in place I have the Dewhurst, I have the Mitsubishi speed controller, which is operated from this control box upon the top from Newton Tesla. Infinitely variable speed, obviously forward reverse. This is the most important switch, which is my run and jog. In normal run mode, if I put this to a low speed, hit start, yeah, I've got whatever speed I like. But the important part is if I hit stop, run to jog, and as long as I have my finger on the start button, I can stop and start the motor under command, which is running at 5% of duty cycle, which is 10 Hertz, which roughly equates to about 140 RPM. But the good thing with this is my tapping operation. I can effectively reverse on the fly. So if I flick the switch, it's almost instant. It almost instantly reverses the motor. So I got no sort of overrun on the tapping operation. So I've got a facing off operation, a deburring operation, a centre drill, a drill, and a tap operation down to 31 seconds for an M6 thread. Unfortunately, I've got no examples to show you because they're in my tumbler on my shelf here. I've got a £2 tumbler which I got off eBay for about 70 quid. Inside there is burnishing soap and ceramic pieces, ceramic shapes. I basically leave my aluminium parts. There's some stock parts. Basically leave her in there for about an hour, tumbling around, and the parts come out silky smooth, all deburred, clean. Because the stock aluminium I'm using at the moment is not particularly clean. I don't suppose you can see terribly well, but it's all marked and scuffed and got that sort of black marks all over them. But anyway, it's as I said, it runs like a sewing machine when the lead screw is out of gear. But if I pop it in forward, leave it at say thousands, flick it on. That's the noise it makes, which is not very clever. And I put it in reverse. Exactly the same problem. Pop into neutral, and it runs like a sewing machine. So I think on the back of that tumbler setup, those needle bearings need to be addressed some way, if they can be replaced easily with an off-the-shelf part, or if there's some way of coming up with a thick grease to try and stop the rattle. But I mean, it's 9:30, give or take, and I'm now down to my drilling and my tapping operations without the tumbler in gear because I don't need my lead screw. So yeah, basically that's my setup. I say it's a Super 7. It's roughly about 40 to 42 years old. I'll dig up the number off the back of the bed. I don't think I can get down there with this. Probably not. Oh, I forgot to mention on the back of the cross slide, I got a slimline slide, custom bracket I made in work, and there's the other slide on the back connected to much as it'll read out, and that is such a massive time saver. It saves a lot of measuring, because obviously it's measuring on the fly all the time, and some various functions, and there's a programmable as well, so I can put my stock into the chuck, get a vernier on it, take a measurement, program that measurement into that as a datum, and then carry on working to my drawing. This is something I was working on a few weeks ago for one of my friends. If you know anything about an astromech droid, that's from Star Wars, and that was an aluminium part that I made for him. In fact, I've got some kicking around. There we go. So that's a part that I made based on that drawing. I think these have been through the tumbler as well, because the surface is quite uniform. Anyway, so the DRO has saved a mammoth amount of time. That was about 250 quid. The three-phase motor with the pod and obviously the speed controller down there from Newton Tesla was about 420, 430, and I can't say how much to pay for the lathe, but let's say if my wife found out, I'd be divorced. Then again, which changed up. Anyway, so there we go. Any ideas on these on this tumbler gear to make it a bit quieter? Gratefully received. Oh, and before I go, obviously, knocked that out of, put that in neutral. Obviously, these pulleys aren't getting used now. I need addressing because there's quite a bit of surface rust on there now, because obviously this belt isn't being pushed backwards and forwards, up and down the pulleys to vary the speed. But yeah, it's working fine. Obviously, all the various oil points are dealt with daily, and I hope to get many more years service out of it. There we go.